All right. Good evening, all of you. A very good evening, everyone. I hope you are able to hear me. If you are able to hear me, please press yes. Yes, good evening, Chetan, Narek, Khushi, Pritesh, Adesh, Pradeep, Gaurav, Monisha, Naren, Shiv Prakash, Sanjana. Good evening. Good evening, Sanjana. Good evening, Chaitra, Rakshita. Good evening, Adesh. It's much better now, Adesh. Yes, Ravigran. Good evening. Good evening, Preksha. That's true, Preksha. So, good evening, Kritika, Varsha, Sakshya. Good evening, Pooja. Chalo, let's begin. Yeah, it's better now, KV Chetan. Yes. Thank you, Siddharth. Shubh Sandhya. Somnita. Good evening, Kishore. Good evening, Anusha. Happy evening, Dikshita. I am better, Ravi Kumar now. Right. Good evening, Tanya. So let's begin. Very good evening, Aishwarya. Yeah. So how are you, all of you? Like, how are all of you? How are you guys? Yes, Pritesh, I can see your message. I remember that. Most likely, I will do that in the end of the class. I'll stop somewhere and do that. Right? But I have a very big, like, let's do a small 5-minute debate before we start the class. Right? Let's do a small 5-minute debate. Let's make sure it is 5 minutes only. Let's not cross our limits. Right? So, that's true, Gaurav. So, yeah, all of you have been into this virtual class system for like long. So, what do you feel? Which one is a better one? Virtual one or the real one? Which one is the better one? Virtual one or the real one? So, if you are telling, you should tell the good reasons also. Don't just tell ki ha, this one. Vinay, got your point. Yes, that's true, Gaurav. Yes, yes, correct. So let me see the reasons people are putting here. Got it, Preksha. All right, that's true, Chirag. Ayyo, just a minute. So a lot of reasons basically. Yes, so there are a lot of advantages in the virtual class. Obviously, it saves your like time travel. Obviously, right? Tanya, wait. Most likely they'll release it soon. They might be about to. I need to check them, right? So there are very pros and cons. Actually, both are better in their own zones. So if you, it saves it. Virtual one saves your travel time. It gets recorded. You have the advantage of uh, what do we say? Revising it again, and then it also makes you learn from the teachers who might not be able to teach you in the offline mode, right? So these are the advantages. And the disadvantages are like you get distracted. Obviously, you're using devices, so people do have distractions. There's no doubt about it. And the second disadvantage is, which I personally feel is the biggest one, your overall development is not there when you're sitting in a virtual class. When you're sitting in a real class, your overall development is there, right? Like you grow as a student, as a person when you're in a real class. That is what I know. And apart from that, yeah, you get bored, but yeah, my only limitation in this virtual classroom is your personality development is little less in the virtual classroom. Rest everything is fine. You can't meet people, of course. You can't meet your friends. That's there. So other than that, both are good, equally good at their own point. Voice is shaking a bit, is it? Sometime. Got it. Chalo, let's start then. So what were we discussing last class? Anyone having any idea? Or everyone having every idea? What we were discussing last class? Pritesh says we were discussing about periodic acid, physical properties, and oxidation. These were three reactions we had discussed. So I hope all of you have revised it and come to the class today. And let's do a recall test based on it, right? So the first recall test which we have today, there is only one recall test, so don't expect the second one. Right, so there comes your first recall test. Very, very, very logical one. If you can get your hands on two options, you are done. This is a question of GOC. I had done a similar question yesterday. I had done a similar question at the end of the class yesterday. It involves your GOC concepts. And as I told you earlier, GOC is everything in organic chemistry. So, GOC is Gajab Gambhir organic chemistry, right? So, you should definitely prepare that topic first and very well. So, if you do that, your 50% organic chemistry is done. Yes, so you can come up with the answers quickly if you know that. I can give you one hint. There are two options, I won't say, two molecules. If you can crack those two molecules, then you can answer it very easily. If you can't crack those two molecules, then it is really difficult to get your answer. Very good, Basan. Very good, Basan. Bhumika, please check again. Bhumika, please check again. The trick here are, I'm not going to tell you the trick here. I have given you the hint. You have to look for two molecules, which is going to help you. Pranav wrong, Monisha wrong. A lot of you will get it wrong. I know that. Kishore wrong. So a lot of you are going to get it wrong. It's wrong, Manpreet. So PK wrong. Sanat right. Priyadarshini right. Sanjana Mahesh right. Bhumika finally right, but if it would be better if you can give reasons. Just don't guess it, right? Come up with a reason. Wrong, Pritesh. That's why I tell GOC is God organic chemistry. GOC is not general organic chemistry, it is God organic chemistry. Study it very well. वो किया तो सब किया, वो नहीं किया तो कुछ नहीं किया. That simple it is. Obviously, Pritesh, if you are choosing one and you are saying the other one is correct, then you are guessing it around. Mansi wrong, K Chetan wrong, Chinmay wrong. Yes. I'm still hoping people will come up with the right answers. Aditi and Janvi, what are your answers? I have got others' answers. Yes. Aditi and Janvi, what are your answers? Wrong, Aditi. It feels such a pleasure when I call out someone to give answers and they answer it wrong. I can't even explain you the pleasure. Janvi, right? So now this proves you both are not in communication with each other. Janvi and Aditi. Aditi, Khanis, it's wrong. Ganesh, wrong. Adesh, wrong. PK, wrong. Now this itself explains the importance of this question. Netra, wrong. Matlab, the legendary students are also getting it wrong. Pooja, right. Chalo, let us discuss this then. Yes, so let's end it on a count of 3, 2, 1. Let's see this one now. This is a decent question. I won't say it's a very good question. It's a decent question. I won't say it's a question of the millennium or it's a question which you'll never encounter in life. It's a decent question, right? So let's see this. So if you remember last class, we had finished the similar question. We had said here the carbonyl compound has maximum dipole moment. We said it was option D. The reason we gave was because if you break this CO bond in D, you get a negative charge on oxygen and positive charge on carbon, right? So when you get a positive charge on carbon, this ring becomes aromatic. And we know aromatic rings are stable. So since it becomes aromatic, this molecule will not exist like this. It will exist like this because it is more stable. And if it exists like this, there is a negative and positive charge here. That means charge has increased. Dipole moment is given by Q into R. As charge increases, dipole moment increases. So due to the distribution of charge in this molecule, right, dipole moment will increase. Why there is a distribution of charge? Because after breaking this bond, you get stable aromatic ring. So basically, if you break this CO bond and you get stable ring, then your dipole moment will be more, according to this question. So let's apply the similar concept here. Your key molecules in this particular question is Q and R. You have to put your all focus on these two molecules. If you can get it right, you're done. So see here, if I break it, I'll get something like this. O minus and carbon plus. Can you tell me whether this ring is aromatic, anti-aromatic or non-aromatic? What it is? Can you tell me whether this ring is aromatic, anti-aromatic or non-aromatic? Can you tell me whether this ring is aromatic, anti-aromatic or non-aromatic? Acha Pritesh, it is anti kya? Oh, if you are saying Pritesh it is anti, I will accept. Okay? But it is non-aromatic ring. This carbon is sp3 hybridized. And I told you if there is even one carbon of the ring sp3 hybridized, then it becomes non-aromatic. Pritesh, you want Mar? Pritesh, type personally how many slaps you want. I'll give you one extra. Okay? So this is non-aromatic because there is one carbon which is sp3 hybridized, right? So if you break this bond, you'll get something like this. B here, double bond, O minus, this carbon gets positive. Carbocations are sp2 hybridized. So this is sp2, 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 alkenes are sp2, sp2, boron, right? Boron, there is a hydrogen, 3 sigma bonds. This is also sp2. All carbons are sp2. All carbons are sp2. So it is aromatic or anti-aromatic or non-aromatic. Can anybody tell me this? It is aromatic, anti-aromatic or non-aromatic. It's given in your NCERT also. For your, I was knowing this. Log galat to karenge hi karenge. Very good. Chetna, finally, very much right. Very good, Chetna. This ring looks like to be anti-aromatic. You will consider it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You will say 4 pi electrons. So it satisfies 4 and pi rule. So you will say it is anti-aromatic. But beta, you forgot one thing. What was that? Yes, I guess you have answered it correctly only. Just a minute, let me check. There is a hydrogen here. Yes, it is anti-aromatic. Yes, it is anti-aromatic. Correct? Sorry, I was checking option S. My mistake. I was thinking option S while solving R. So this ring is anti-aromatic. Got it? Check the option D. Break this bond. S, sorry. If you break this bond, you get O minus plus. Now this ring is aromatic, anti-aromatic, or non-aromatic? What it is? Very good, Ganesh. Yes, very good, Pritesh. It is aromatic. Why it is aromatic? Why it is aromatic? Count the pi electrons. Obviously, this is sp2, 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 sp2. What about oxygen? Oxygen lone pair is present in resonance. So, whenever there is a resonance, molecule must be planar, hybridization of atoms must be sp2. So, how many pi electrons? 1, 2, 3, 4. You will say 4, but there is a lone pair of electron also. So, 6 pi electrons are there. So, it will have 6 pi electrons. That means it follows 4n plus 2 pi electron rule. So, it becomes what? Aromatic. So, obviously, most stable is what? Most stable ring is aromatic. Only S is giving you aromatic ring. If you check P also, break it, you'll get, let us draw it here. You'll get something like this. O minus plus. Now this ring is sp2, 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 all planar. Then 1, 2, 4 pi. So 4 pi electrons. So it is also anti-aromatic. We know the order of stability is what? Aromatic, more stable, then non-aromatic, then anti-aromatic. Right? I told you, since its ring is aromatic, that means this pi bond will break easily and it will exist in this structure, not in this structure, because this structure is aromatic. And if this molecule exists in this structure, then it has a complete positive and negative charge. That means charge has increased. If charge has increased, dipole moment will be increased. That means most stable is S. So maximum dipole moment will be for S. So either option B or option C. These two are ruled out. Either option B or option C. Now, among anti-aromatic, non-aromatic, which is more stable, non-aromatic. So among P, Q, R, B ka molecule is non-aromatic, it will be more stable. So its dipole moment will be more. So we can say after S will come Q. So if after S Q comes, it is not option B, it is option C. It is option C. So the correct answer here is C, which was answered by very few of you. Most of you had voted for B, which is wrong. Right? Is that clear? Is that clear, everyone? Yes, Ashutosh, please shoot your doubt. Yes, Ashutosh. Please shoot your doubt quickly. Phenoxide ion versus S molecule. Phenoxide ion versus S molecule. Of course, this will be more stable. This will be more stable, Ashutosh. If you take phenoxide ion, this will be more stable. It is aromatic. It will be stabilized by resonance. You are breaking aromaticity. Okay? So this will be more stable than phenoxide, Ashutosh. Chalo, let's move ahead. Last shoot out for the doubts. Any doubt in this question, anyone? Yes. Any doubt in this question, anyone? Anyone having any doubt in this? No doubts. Very good. At least write no doubts if there is no doubt. So let's move ahead. We are going to learn a new stuff today. Right? What is that? We are going to learn chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones. Right? So in chemical properties in this chapter is very important. For all exams it is very important. So what all you are going to learn in this chapter is, first you learn about nucleophilic addition reactions. Right? Parallelly, I will also teach you nucleophilic addition elimination reaction. Right? Then you will study about condensation reaction in this. Condensation reaction we will study about aldol and Cannizzaro, very, very important. And then after this, you will come across redox reactions. That means oxidation and reduction reactions. And at last, you will study about electrophilic substitution reactions. So what we are starting today is nucleophilic addition reactions, right? So what are nucleophilic addition reactions? See this carefully, it's very important. If I take any aldehyde or ketone, let us say H, let us take aldehyde. If you react it with any nucleophile, very good question, Preksha. What is ESR, guys? What is ESR? What is ESR? ESR is electrophilic substitution reaction, Preksha. Right? Halogenation, nitration, sulfonation, Friedel-Crafts reactions, whatever you have studied were electrophilic substitution reactions. Right? So if you take this, how is this reaction going to happen? Very good. Among carbon and oxygen, which is more electronegative? Among carbon and oxygen, which is more electronegative? Oxygen. So this bond will break towards oxygen. Oxygen will acquire what charge? Negative. Carbon will acquire what charge? Positive. So if you break it like this, your nucleophiles are negatively charged species. So they will attack carbon having a positive charge. So I repeat, when you break this bond, oxygen gets negative charge, carbon gets positive charge. So negatively charged nucleophile will come and forms a bond with positively charged carbon, and you are going to get what? R as it is, H as it is, O minus as it is. Carbon forms a bond with nucleophile. Right? This is what you will get. And if you take H plus along with nucleophile, let us say nucleophile is HCl, H plus and Cl minus. So this H plus will be taken by O minus. So in that case, you can write OH. Now, what is very important about this reaction? This is breaking of pi bond, adding nucleophile on this carbon, adding H plus on oxygen. So breaking pi bond to add nucleophile here and H here is called nucleophilic addition reaction. Now, the important point here is, what is the hybridization of this carbon? What is the hybridization of this carbon over here? What is the hybridization of this carbon? Yes, very good. It is sp2. What is the shape of sp2 carbon or sp2 geometry? Like, what is the shape of sp2 hybridization? It is trigonal planar. So I am drawing a plane over here. My drawing is not very apt, but okay. So this is a plane. So it is a triangular planar shape. Correct? Now this nucleophile can come from the top. Right? Let us say your CO bond is lying like this. This is oxygen. This is carbon. Right? Oxygen, carbon. So you broke. This is a pi bond, right? So you broke the pi bond towards oxygen. Oxygen got negative charge. Carbon got positive charge. Now this is your nucleophile. Since it is planar, nucleophile can come from the top because there is nothing above it. So nucleophile can easily come from the top, and nucleophile can come from the bottom also. Correct? So nucleophile can come from the top. It can come from the bottom also. It is similar to what? It is similar to what? You have studied a similar stereochemistry in what? SN1 mechanism. You have studied this similar stereochemistry in SN1 mechanism, right? So what do you expect as the product here? What product would you get here? What product you would get here, stereochemistry wise? In terms of stereochemistry, a product obtained here will be enantiomers. You will get two products here. That will be enantiomers. That means you will get OH. You can take R here, H, NU. This will be your one product. Other product will be mirror image of this. NuH. Your product obtained will be pair of enantiomers. Pair of enantiomers. Have you ever heard about glucose? Mein, at least the bio students, right? At least the bio students should be knowing. Glucose exists in two structures. What are those? Glucose exists in two structures. What are those two structures? Yes? Glucose exists in two structures. Structure, tell me whatever you know. Okay, that is dextro and levo form. Okay, got it. Have you heard about in biomolecules? Have you studied about alpha D glucose and beta D glucose? Yes, very good, Ankita. Have you heard about alpha D glucose and beta D glucose? Yes. What are alpha D glucose and beta D glucose? What are alpha D glucose and beta D glucose? Yes. What are your alpha D glucose and beta D glucose? हाँ, सुना है, but याद नहीं है. So if you recall, alpha D glucose and beta D glucose are also formed because of this reaction only, nucleophilic addition reaction only. Right? Because of this reaction only, you get alpha D glucose and beta D glucose. I will teach you, if I get a chance to teach you biomolecules, I will teach you that in biomolecules also. Remember, this reaction will come in biomolecules also. I'll teach you there how it is alpha D glucose and beta D glucose. Right? How much glucose I am taking? Not much. Chalo, let's move ahead. So, any doubt in this mechanism, anyone? Any doubt in this mechanism, anyone? Yes? I'll give you 5 seconds to ask your doubts in the mechanism if you have any. Racemization can also occur, Pritesh, but we don't say racemization generally because R and H may be same or different. So therefore, we generally don't talk about racemization here. We just say pair of enantiomers will be formed. Okay? All right, so let's move ahead. Let's take some examples. Before I take example, very important question, you'll find it in all the books. Rate of reaction depends upon. Rate of reaction here depends upon two factors. What are those? See this carefully. This is very important. So if you take this, my first question to you is, why is this nucleophile attacking this carbon? I'll connect things. Why is this nucleophile attacking this carbon? Pritesh, check it again. Why is this nucleophile attacking this carbon? Very basic thing I have asked. Yes, because when you broke this carbon-oxygen bond, when you break this bond, oxygen gets negative charge, carbon gets positive charge, Pritesh, carbocation is not formed. Right? Don't put carbocation wherever you want. So negatively charged nucleophile attack the positively charged carbon. So nucleophile is attacking this carbon because it is positively charged. Correct? Yes or no? So can I say rate of reaction is directly proportional to let's write here, rate of reaction is directly proportional to delta plus charge on carbon of CO. That means more is the positive charge here, more easily nucleophile can attack. Yes or no? Is that clear? Yes? Is that clear? If there is a more positive charge here, then nucleophile can easily attack this. We can say that. Now, please understand, there will be questions which I'll ask on this. Now, if I take a positive charge on carbon and I attach some group on it, what type of group will increase this positive charge? Electron donating group or electron withdrawing group, which type of group will increase the positive charge? Yes, very good. So electron withdrawing group will withdraw electrons, right? If they withdraw electrons, they are withdrawing negative charge from this carbon. So this carbon will have even more positive charge. So that means electron withdrawing group will increase the positive charge on carbon, right? And this electron donating group will donate electron to this carbon. So they will donate negative charge to this carbon. Negative and positive will become neutral. So positive charge will decrease. Positive charge will decrease, right? So I write it again here. Electron withdrawing group. Electron withdrawing means the groups having minus I effect and minus R effect. Minus I effect and minus R effect increases the delta plus charge on C double bond O carbon. Therefore, increases rate of reaction. Therefore, increases rate of reaction. So you can take a screenshot if you want. You can take a screenshot if you want. Yes, I hope you have done that. So in short, I can say rate of reaction is directly proportional to electron withdrawing group or minus R and minus I effect. Right? More is minus I effect, more is minus R effect, more will be rate of reaction. Right? Now the second point is steric hindrance. Second factor affecting this is steric hindrance. First point, last word is reaction. This is reaction. Naren, this is reaction. So now see, if I take bulky groups here, big alkyl groups here, then will my nucleophile be able to attack this carbon? If I take very bulky groups here, will my nucleophile be able to attack this carbon? No. So that means if the steric hindrance is more, nucleophile cannot attack this carbon easily. So rate of reaction will be less. So we can say it over here, steric hindrance is inversely proportional to rate of reaction. Yes? So let me ask you a question on this, basic question on this. And just to tell you, minus I effect is shown by X, halogens, NO2, OR, OH, all they show minus I effect, just to recall. Right? CN plus I effect is shown by which groups? All alkyl groups show plus I effect. If you have forgotten, all alkyl groups show plus I effect. Now, if I take this and I give you aldehyde, this is a textbook question, and ketone. Among these two, which is more reactive? Aldehyde or ketone? Very easy question. Which is more reactive towards nucleophilic addition reaction? More reactive towards nucleophilic addition reaction. What do you feel? Yes, all of you have answered it correctly only. I don't see anyone answering it wrong. That's a great thing actually. Yeah, very much right. Aldehydes will be more reactive than ketones because you can answer it the way you want. By both the factors, I will try to answer this. If I apply the first factor, alkyl group has plus I effect. So there is one plus I effect here. There are two plus I effect here. Right? There are two plus I effect here. So rate of reaction is directly proportional to plus I, but inversely proportional to directly proportional to minus I, inversely proportional to plus I. More is plus I, less is reactivity. So here more plus I is there because of two alkyl groups, therefore it is less reactive. And if you go by steric hindrance also, alkyl group is large, hydrogen is small. Here both alkyl groups are large. So nucleophile can easily attack here because of small hydrogen. Right? So aldehydes are more reactive. You can say they are more reactive They are more reactive due to steric inverse. Due to less steric inverse. So I'll take some questions on this. Right? Voice is cracking. Why is the voice cracking? Really cracking, or you're just saying it for the sort? Really, it is cracking. Yeah. Just give me a minute. Let me check if there is something wrong. Give me a minute. I don't see any problem here. I don't see any problem here, Pritesh. Maybe your internet is shaking. हो सकता है. It might be due to your internet also. That is possible, Pradap. Chalo, let's move ahead. Yeah, anyone having any doubt in this, please ask. Anyone having any doubt in this, please ask. If nucleophile is bulky, yeah, if nucleophile is also bulky, it will decrease the rate of reaction. Basavraj. If nucleophile is also bulky, it will decrease the rate of reaction. Okay? So let's take a question here on this so that it becomes more clear. Yeah. So here comes your question, not this one. We'll do this one first. So here are your 4 molecules, right? You have to arrange them in their increasing order of reactivity towards nucleophilic addition reaction. Arrange them in their correct order of reactivity towards nucleophilic addition reaction. Choose the correct answer, I'll give you the poll. Choose the correct answer, I'll give you the poll. Yes, you have the poll in front of you. You have the poll in front of you, so you can choose the correct answer. So you can start voting on the poll. I think all of you should get the right answer. It's an easy question. It's very direct. I can understand. When you see an easy question, you go out of happiness mad, right? You go mad out of happiness. And you start shouting, sir, it's a very easy question. As if you do all the questions correctly. Okay, I'll give you a good question also. Don't worry about it. All of you are answering it correctly. That's great. Chirag, Chetan, Vaibhav, Sanat, you are right. Chaitra, what's your answer? Chaitra K, what's your answer? I don't doubt anyone's talent, Adesh. I don't doubt anyone's talent. So Chaitra, I think your answer is also right. Manpreet, what's your answer? And who else I wanted to know? Janvi. Janvi, what's your answer? Mohit. Send your answer, guys. Right. So I think all of you are answering it correctly. That's really an easy question. So that's great. So I'm ending it here, guys. I'm ending it on account of 3, 2, 1. Let's end this now. Yes. So it's straightforward, right? As you guys said, 2 small molecules, 1 alkyl group, 1 hydrogen. So obviously this is more reactive than this. There are 2 alkyl groups, so more steric hindrance. So this is less reactive than this. And here, 1 carbon alkyl group, 2 carbon alkyl group. steric hindrance is more than this because there is only one alkyl group. Here you have two alkyl groups, both are having 2 carbon, so has maximum steric hindrance. So since it has maximum steric hindrance, its reactivity is least. So we would say D is the correct option. D is the correct option. This question you will see this question almost in every exam. Almost every exam. Let me give you one more. Yeah. Read this one carefully. Read this one carefully. You have to be logically correct to answer this one. I'm telling you again, you have to be logically very much correct to answer this one. Arrange the following compounds in decreasing order of reactivity towards nucleophilic addition reaction. These are your 4 compounds. Get started. So get started. So get going and do it quickly. Yes. Get it done. Right. Pritesh, I think so. You are right. I think so, Pritesh, you are right. Whoever, Ashutosh, just check your answer again. Rest, all of you are right. Sanjana, check your answer again. Basan Gowda right. Chetana right. Vaibhav right. Oh, sorry. Vaibhav and Kishore, check your answers again. Narek is right. Anirudh, check your answer again. Aum Kulkarni is right. So this is Gaurav right. Chaitra R, check your answer. Mohit, check your answer. Sanat, Samarth, check your answer. Yes. So Ganesh right. Shreya Kotgi, please check your answer. Chan Baswa, check your answer again. Sagar Gowda Patil, check your answer again. Lot of wrong answers also. Yes, Adesh. Lot of wrong answers also. So see, when the straightforward question comes, all of you become like very fast. Now this is a slightly tricky question. Right, so I am ending this, guys. Oh, I didn't give you a poll on this, sorry. I'll give you a poll of 50 seconds. So please register your answer on the poll. You didn't ask also. I'll give you a poll of 50 seconds. So quickly get your answers on the poll. I'll give you a poll of 50 seconds. Get your answers on the poll. Suraksha, check your answer again. I know why you guys are choosing that one, but still. So all of you please vote. So let's end this poll now and discuss what's the answer to this question. Chetan, check again. Right, so I'm ending this one here. Yes. So the correct answer of the question, let us see what it will be. So if you go directly by steric hindrance, you will mark formaldehyde as the maximum rate or most reactive. But see, third one is not maximum in any of the options. That means you cannot just go by steric hindrance, you have to take both the factors into account, right? Either one is given maximum or two is given maximum. This question would have been beauty if one option with 3 was given maximum. Then I'm damn sure 70 to 80% of the students will choose that one where formaldehyde was given maximum, right? Because formaldehyde means steric hindrance is less. But no, you see this from this point of view. Electronic effect. This has zero effect, zero effect. Hydrogen does not have any effect. What will be the effect present here? This group will have what effect? Plus I or minus I? This group will have what effect? Plus I or minus I? What will be the effect of this group? Plus I or minus I? Yes, very good. it is having minus I effect. Correct? Here similarly CH2Cl is also having minus I, right? But CH3 is having plus I. Here 0, 0, no effect. Here plus I, right? So now obviously most reactive becomes 2 because it has minus I. We know rate is proportional to minus I effect and minus R effect, right? So most reactive is 2. So either option C or option D. Now out of 2, after 2 either 1 is given or 3 is given. So if I consider 1 and 3, 1 has a minus I effect. So therefore 1 will be considered more reactive than 3, right? So therefore second ke baad what will come? 1 will come. After 1, 3 will come. No effect. Plus I decreases the reactivity. So fourth will be least reactive. So your correct answer comes out here to be D option. It is D. D is the correct answer. Any doubt in this? Anyone over here? Anyone having any doubt in this? Please ask. Yes. Anyone having any doubt in this? Very good. So I'll give you a general order of reactivity. Yes. So general order of reactivity is something like this. Aldehydes, or better take formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is more reactive. Let us write HCHO only. HCHO is more reactive than RCHO because of steric hindrance of alkyl group. Then comes your aromatic aldehyde. Benzene has a larger size, right? Then comes your ketones, aliphatic ketones. Then last may comes your aromatic ketones. This is your general order of reactivity. This is the order of rate of reaction, right? So related to this, there are some questions which I have kept it over here. You can do them as homework. You can do this as homework, right? We'll discuss it tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll take the examples of nucleophilic addition reaction and nucleophilic addition elimination reaction also. How come screen is gone? Just a minute. 1 minute, guys. Yeah, screen is back. So what I said, I'll repeat. I had given you the general order of reactivity, right? For all the aldehydes and ketones. This is the general order of reactivity, right? This is the general order of reactivity. Then related to this, I have kept one homework here which you can practice, right? So when we come back tomorrow, right? When we come back tomorrow, we'll take examples of nucleophilic addition reaction and continue solving questions on it. Now, I told you we'll discuss some reaction of phenol. We'll discuss 2 reactions quickly. Yeah, anyone having any doubt in this, you can ask. We'll move to the 2 reactions of phenol. Yeah. Anyone having any doubt in this, you can ask. We'll move to the 2 reactions of phenol. Yes? No. Very good. So now let me do the following. Let me discuss the reactions of phenols in the end. Yes. So few reactions of phenols which I wanted to tell you was, which are apart from the syllabus, except one. See, one reaction is a very basic one which I have missed out there, and that is, if you take phenol, it's a very basic reaction, and treat it with zinc dust. If you take phenol and treat it with zinc dust, people write it as zinc heat, zinc dust, powder of zinc, it will take out zinc oxide. Zinc will take out oxygen to form zinc oxide. So what will be left? H here. So you'll get benzene. So if you want to convert phenol to benzene, you can use this reaction. You'll get benzene plus zinc oxide. This is a very basic reaction. You can convert, it is very useful in conversions. You can convert phenol to benzene. Right? If somebody tells you, for example, if somebody tells you, how would you convert phenol to chlorobenzene, let us say. That's very easy. That's very easy. Simply treat it with zinc dust. You'll get benzene. And then do the Dawes process is reverse process. Pritesh, Dawes process is used to convert chlorobenzene to phenol. We are converting phenol to chlorobenzene. So now you treat it with chlorination. Cl2 in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3. Right? So if you do the chlorination of benzene, you'll get chlorobenzene. So very useful reaction to attach another group on or replace OH by some other functional group. It's a very useful to replace OH by some other functional group. Right? Anyone having any other doubt? No. Right? So let's move ahead. So the second reaction of phenol we have to discuss is, again, these two reactions are important, at least for the JEE GATE. First one is Claisen rearrangement. So please pay attention. What is Claisen rearrangement? When you will be solving different reference books, you will get questions on it. What is Claisen rearrangement? Anhydrous AlCl3 likha to hai. Ganesh, I have written it. So if you take Claisen rearrangement, I'll first write the reaction and then I'll give you the mechanism. So if I take Claisen rearrangement, it is something like this. First tell me, what is this molecule? If you heat it, basically, yeah, what is this molecule? Just common name, not very IPC name, I don't want. Common name. Just a minute, I have missed one atom here. There will be one oxygen here. Yeah. Now it is complete. Yes, what is this molecule? See here. It's a general molecule having formula ROR. So it is ether. First of all, it is ether. There is a phenyl group here, and this is a allyl group. Double bond, next atom having oxygen. So there is a phenyl allyl ether. So this compound is phenyl allyl ether. Right? So to solve this type of question, do the numbering. Do the numbering like this: 1, 2, 3. You can do it like this: 1, 2, 3. So how does this happen? See carefully. 1-1 bond will break. Let me write it over here. The bond between 1-1 will break. Right? The bond between 1-1 will break. The bond between 3 and 3 will get formed. So how do I show the form then? Let me show the form like this. Bond between 3 will be formed, and the bond between 1 and 2. 1 and 2 mein there is a single bond. 1 and 2 mein there is a single bond. It will become double bond. This is what happens in this reaction, right? So if I do that, let me write the product directly. So if I break the bond between 1 and 1, you'll get oxygen here, right? And the bond between 1 and 1 breaks. The bond between 1 and 2 becomes double bond. So put a double bond here. I'll show you the mechanism, don't worry. And then 2 and 3 becomes single bond. Let me write here. 2 and 3 ka double bond will break to form a single bond. And 3 and 3 ke beech ka bond will be formed. 1 and 2 ke beech ka double bond. You'll get this. I repeat, 1 and 2 double bond. So 1 and 2 double bond, right? Between 1 and 2 double bond, 1 and 2 double bond. 1-1 bond breaks. 1-1 bond breaks. 3-3 bond forms. 3-3 bond forms. 2-3 double bond breaks into single bond. 2-3 double bond breaks into single bond. So 2,3 में you have a single bond here. 2,3 में you have a single bond here. This is what you have to understand. This is how the reaction takes place. Now what happens in next step? It is a keto form. It is a keto form. It will undergo enolization. There is a hydrogen here. This hydrogen bond will break like this, so that this carbon will get a negative charge. This carbon should get a positive. This bond will break like this. Oxygen gets negative. Carbon gets positive. Positive negative will form a bond with each other, and oxygen getting a negative charge will take H plus to form OH. So your overall reaction will be, you'll get a enol now. So this is what you are getting here, right? This is what you are going to get here. So basically this allyl group which you have over here will shift to the ortho position, or it will shift to the para position. You'll get both. Or it will shift to the para position. So either you'll get ortho allyl phenol or you'll get para allyl phenol, right? Now if you take this, the mechanism of this is very easy. Yeah, please check the reaction. If there is any doubt in the reaction, please ask. I'm going to take the mechanism of this. If there is any doubt in this reaction, please ask. Yes, anyone having any doubt in the mechanism part? Sorry, reaction part. How para? I'll show you in the mechanism, Pritesh. How para? I'll show you in the mechanism. Keto is stable, but some enol will exist, na? Acha, Ravi Kiran, keto is more stable or enol is more stable? Here. Ravi Kiran, which is more stable, keto or enol? Ravi Kiran, which is more stable, keto or enol? Enol, enol is aromatic. Enol is aromatic here. What are you talking? Chalo, let's take the mechanism of this. I hope you have understood this. Even if you have not understood, no problem, you will understand from mechanism. So देखो, everything happens in one step only, so please pay attention. थोड़ा बड़ा लिखेंगे. Double bond, O, allyl group. देखो, listen carefully. First bond breaks like this. Correct? First bond breaks like this. Now, if it breaks like this, this carbon, oxygen gets a negative charge and this carbon gets a positive charge. If oxygen gets negative, next carbon should get what charge? Positive. So this bond will break like this. Correct? So show it like this. Right? Now, positive and negative will form a bond with each other. You know that. This carbon will get a negative charge. Now come to this molecule. This carbon gets a positive charge. Oxygen gets negative. This carbon should get what? Says this carbon is positive. Next carbon should be negative. So this bond breaks like this. Right? So this bond breaks like this. Right? Now if you want, you can show all the charges. So see, now show all the charges. Negative on oxygen, positive on this carbon. Double bond. This carbon negative, this carbon positive will form a bond with each other. This carbon negative, this carbon positive will form a bond with each other. Right? So if you show it in one step, it will become this. Not equilibrium will nahi aayega. So it will come like this. Right? You have broken this bond, so single bond. Right? This carbon positive, oxygen negative. When you break this bond, oxygen will get negative charge here. Break this bond, carbon will get positive. Positive, negative, double bond. Right? And this carbon gets a negative charge. When you break this bond like this carbon gets positive charge. Positive, negative will form a bond with each other. So there is a bond here. Right? And you have broken this bond. So double bond has become single bond. This carbon gets negative. This carbon gets positive. They will form a bond with each other. Right? You'll get this. So now, check this. Is it clear? Is this mechanism part clear, everyone? Please check this carefully. If there is any doubt in this, please ask. Is this cyclization mechanism clear to everyone? Yes? अरे बोलो भाई. If there is a doubt, say sir I have a doubt. If there is no doubt, say sir I don't have a doubt. If there are multiple doubts, say I have a multiple doubt. Chalo, I don't see any doubt. So what I'll do is I'll take a hydrogen here now. Keto-enol tautomerization. So carbon-oxygen bond will break like this. So oxygen gets a negative charge, carbon gets a positive charge because oxygen is more electronegative. Next, carbon should get negative. So this bond, CH bond breaks like this. Carbon negative, positive negative double bond. H gets a positive charge. So O minus will take H plus. So what you get overall here is enolization के बाद there will be a double bond here. O minus takes H plus, and you got something like this. Correct? Ortho. Now Hari Prakash is saying, sorry, Sri Prakash is saying we can get para also. Now you should think, how can we get para? Now Pritesh, you should have understood how can we get para. Dekho, if I do the resonance, this goes like this, negative, this goes like this, positive, positive, negative, double bond. If this gets negative, break the next bond like this, right? Positive, negative will form a double bond, right? It will form a double bond. This carbon gets negative, this can form a bond with this positively charged carbon. Is that clear? Is that clear? So now this carbon can also get a negative charge and electrophile can come to this position, right? Is that clear, everyone? Any doubt in this? Anyone? Yes? But एक चीज का ध्यान रखना है. What is that thing? What is that thing? Para तो मिलेगा, right? Let me label this carbons. If I label this carbon as star, then my star carbon is here, forming a bond here, third carbon, right? But in this para, your star carbon will be here. Why? Listen this carefully. Directly para nahi milega. You will not get para directly. See here carefully. You will get para from ortho. You will get para from ortho. Listen carefully how. First you got this. Now again 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Again break the 1-1 bond. Right? 3 combines with each other. Getting a point? So if this was your star carbon, right? Next bond will be formed between this carbon with this carbon. Right? You cannot directly form para here. First you will form ortho, then again you will do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If this time this star carbon has bonded here, next time when you do 1, 2, 3, this 3 will bind to this carbon, which is non-star carbon. So therefore, para product will be, this will be non-star carbon and you'll get star here. Right? So please keep this in mind. You can do this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and get the other product. So if you do it again, your product formed will be para product, but the difference will be the star will be present on this carbon, other carbon. Okay? So keep this in mind. Directly para product is not obtained. Okay? Directly para product is not obtained. Para product is obtained from ortho. So that is why this trick is very important. Right? Do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's very important. Any doubt in this? Anyone? I think we are done here. Anyone having any doubt in this? I'll take the next reaction tomorrow. That is Fry's rearrangement. This was your Claisen rearrangement. If there is any doubt in this, please ask quickly. This is more important than Fry's. Fry's is, you know, French fries, similar to that. Fry's rearrangement. Star से क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? Of course, beta, you should know ना कि this कैसी बातें कर रहे हो प्रीतेश? You should know ना whether the bond is formed of this carbon, the bond is formed with this carbon or this carbon. You should know that. So for that, I have done the labeling here, star. So I know 3-3 bond. 1, 2, 3. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I know 3-3 will form a bond. So there is a star here. Correct? Correct? Now, when there is a star here, you do again 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, next 3 and 3 will combine with each other. So 3 and 3 has combined with each other. The star is not lying here. The star will lie here. इससे तुम्हें ये पता लगा कि reaction is not happening directly. This is an experiment. This is an experiment. They did the labeling to check the mechanism. When they did the labeling, they got this product. That means reaction is not happening directly. This is not directly attacking this. So since they were getting this product, right? अगर तुम directly करते तो तुम्हें क्या मिलता? This negative would have bonded to this. That means your product should have been this. Your product should have been something like this. OH here, star. But in reaction, you did not get this product. You got this product. That's why they said this mechanism does not take place. Reaction goes through this mechanism. तो ये तरीका होता है mechanism decide करने का lab में. This is a way of deciding the mechanism in the lab. How would you know reaction is going like this or this? This is isotopic labeling. इसे isotopic labeling कहते हैं. This is how you decide how the mechanism is going. ठीक है? I think so. We are done here. So those who are interested in Kahoot, today's Kahoot is difficult. I'm telling you right away. It's on mathematics and it is difficult. So difficult matlab if you know it, you know it. You can't solve it. Last slide. This is your last slide, Naren. So we are done with phenol reactions. Only this thing is remaining. Fries rearrangement. I'll teach you tomorrow. Whereas that is not very important. So yeah, I think we are done here. If anybody has in general any doubt, you can ask. We are moving towards our Kahoot session. Naren, I hope you have taken the last slide. When will this chapter finish? Chandan, this chapter has just started. This chapter is a very big chapter. Most likely it will finish in next 1 or 2 weeks, mostly. Chalo, let's start. So your game pin is 85443335. 85443335. 85443335 is your game pin. 85443335 is your game pin. Right? So let's see whether you guys have joined in. Just a minute. 1 minute. Yeah. We are done here. So that's your game pin on the screen. Please join quickly. It's on maths, obviously. The bio students may not like it. But I'll tell you one movie, many of you would have already watched it, but you should see that movie actually. Right? You should see that movie actually. It's a very good movie. Right. So join in quickly, guys. So somebody has joined with gallium tantalum name. I don't know why you choose such kind of name. It's weird to see that. And this is, yeah. Anybody still waiting out there? I'm going to start the quiz now. Anybody still waiting out there? Bigfoot. Anybody still waiting out there? Is coming MCQ type? Yes, coming test is MCQ type. Some bio students likes maths also. Okay, let's see that. But the maths which I'm talking about, even I don't understand it very easily. So now you can understand. Yes. So let's move ahead then. Yeah. So anybody waiting out there who is still trying to get in? Somebody has joined in with Munna Tripathi name. अभी मतलब मिर्जापुर का सेकंड सीक्वल आया नहीं, लोगों में वैसे ही खौफ पहले बैग आ गया है कि हाँ we should do that. Preksha, do one quickly. Are you in, Preksha? Yes, Preksha. Are you in? I never understand, Preksha, why you joined so late. Yes, I understood. You are in. You just wait for your sister to join in. Don't worry. Today's Kahoot will blow everybody's mind. Not everybody's, some. Yeah, it's Maths Wizard. We have kept it on Ramanujam. I don't know how many of you have read his biography. It's a very good biography. You should go through it. So this is a very good story. What is Hardy Ramanujam number? Which can be number which can be expressed, the number which can be expressed as sum of cubes of two numbers in different ways. The number which can be expressed as sum of cubes in two different ways. That's a very famous question you will ever get on Ramanujam. Very famous one. Yes. And the answer here is, yeah, many of you know this. That's good. It's 1729. Are you aware of the story behind this? I was aware of this story when I was in my school. Right? When I was in my school. Yes. This is when Ramanujam wrote a letter to G.H. Hardy. Right? Yes, taxi number. When he wrote a letter to G.H. Hardy that he wrote, I make maths. So this professor in Oxford thought, who is this great guy who can make maths? So then he contacted that Ramanujam, and then he was not knowing Ramanujam as a very poor English, right? So when this guy arrived in a taxi ka number was 1729. Ramanujam looked at that number and he said, it's a very special number. It's a number which can be expressed as sum of cubes in two different ways. 12 cube plus 1 and 13 ka bhi you can take. Right. So the next question. Now, next questions are purely his research. So this is a slightly different one. Let's see the score list first. So Pritesh Patil, I don't know whether it is original Pritesh or fake Pritesh. So Pritesh Patil is on the top. Shahana is on second. Veer is on third. Casey, Amulya in top 5. Right. Original Pritesh, yeah? Chalo, that's good. Right. So the next one. Who is the first Indian to be elected as Fellow of Royal Society? You might not be knowing this Royal Society. In fact, Ramanujam was also a member of Royal Society. So Royal Society is it is like how do I tell you? American Journal of Science, that type of. So Royal Society was the only society which used to publish papers initially. Right? It is a very old society. Very few members, very few scientists are members of it. Indian who has won a Nobel Prize in Chemistry, Venki, his full name I don't remember, Venkat Raman something, is also a member of our FRS. Okay? The correct answer is Adasi Kursetji. He was the first Indian guy to be a part of Royal Society of England, like science. Go and read about him. If I tell you now who is R.C. Kursetji, it's not worthy enough. You go and read about him. In his name only J is present. Very good, K.V. Chetan. So Pritesh is still on the top, surprisingly. Amulya on second. Chinmay, acha, the answer was B, of course. Pritesh ka answer is B. Chinmay, Aditi DS. How come Aditi has come in top 5? City Slum, Chinmay H in top 5. The third question. Again, it's a very weird question. Ramanujam was awarded a bachelor and PhD degree for his work on. Ramanujam was awarded a bachelor degree and a PhD degree for his work on which topic? Yes. And I am assuming Pritesh will be on the top this time also. Pritesh will be on the top. No doubt. It is highly composite numbers. So Pritesh changed his answer. Very good. So that means our taunting is working for Pritesh. Pritesh has for the first time changed his answer. So Amulya on top, Chinmay on second, Aditi DS on third, City Slum on Varsha is on top 5. Next one. So this is our fourth question. This is a definition of what? Basically a positive integer which has more divisors than any smaller positive integer is called. A positive integer which has more divisors than any smaller positive integer is called. Now this is why I said here this quiz is not going to be easy. Yes. And the answer is yes, of course. It is composite numbers, highly composite numbers, जो हमने पिछले question में देखा था. The same thing. It is highly composite numbers. Ramanujan का big major work was based on this, right? Let's see the score list. Is Pritish back? No, Pritish is still not back. Pritish is not voting for B now. So Vijeta, Aditi, Varsha, City Slum, Amulya in top 5. Last question, guys. Easy one. Which of the following is not a highly composite number? Now you have seen the definition of. Highly composite number. You have to choose which of these 4 numbers is not a highly composite number or highest composite number. Which of the following is not a highest composite number? Now we are going to have a big joke. And Pritish must have chosen 48, but unfortunately, Pritish, the correct answer is 72. 72 is not the highly composite number. So this is how the podium list goes. Aditi DS on third, well played Aditi in maths. Pranav on second, well played Pranav, out of nowhere. Amulya is in first, well played Amulya, all correct. Varsha and Danaris Hagarian is in top 5. Right, so I was telling you to watch one movie on his biography. It is Man Who Knew Infinity. So you can watch that movie called Man Who Knew Infinity. Pretty sad story. So Man Who Knew Infinity. So this is the movie name. You can watch it. It's a very good movie. It's on his biography, Man Who Knew Infinity. It's a good one. You can go through it whenever you get time. Yeah, even Elon Musk is in Rolls like Elon Musk because of like Hyperloop and all those stuff, right? That's the major reason he is in there. Yeah, he dies at last because of some. I forgot the name of the disease. Yeah, movie is available on YouTube for free. You can go through it. It's a good movie. He died of TB, correct. He died of TB. At that time, TB was a big problem in India. Yes, Pratham, I have seen that. Right. Chalo, we'll catch you again tomorrow. Till then, study well, prepare well, and enjoy the life. Right? So we'll meet again tomorrow. Study well, keep enjoying the life at home, and take care all of you and enjoy your life again. Chalo, we'll end this here. Till then, study well and may God bless you all. Dekhenge Adesh, we'll see that. Bye Basavraj, take care. Bye Viresh. Yes, Adesh, I'll send. Bye Chandan, bye Gaurav.